Hey guys, welcome back. It's Lucid, and we're jumping back into our game with Lemuria. It is turn 13, and yeah. Let's see what we got. No, sorry, still sick. No battles. We can see Flagra has claimed that throne we saw in the last episode him take, and it turned out to be the throne of the moon, which we'll take a look at. Oh, we didn't really look at thrones, so we'll do that this turn. Throne of the Moon, growth +1, precision +3. So not great for Flagra. I mean, the growth is nice if he doesn't already have it, but growth is the kind of thing, it's like really good if you need it, but most of the time you're already growth 3. And then water and astral, which is nice. So yeah, that's this throne. The throne I found, Throne of Bureaucracy, not very excited about. Let's take a look at the other thrones, though, before we go much farther. We've got the Throne of Life, which 3 nature gems would be nice. I have nature on my god, so I would not be upset to get this, though, you know, it's a little meh, but it's okay. We're already luck +1, so this would be okay. Astral is always nice, but, you know, not great. Throne of Misfortune. This would be good if I got it in combination with the Throne of Fortune, because they would cancel each other out. And then the astral income would be nice. But in and of itself, I don't know if I really want Misfortune that much. I mean, I would probably still claim it just to get the 4 pearls. But I feel pretty meh about that. The Outer Throne, this would probably be a little better than the Throne of Fortune, because I already have luck 3, and it gives 1 more pearl, but I'm pretty, like, okay on that. Throne of Fire. Now, this is one I want. I would fight a war, potentially, to get this one. Blessed troops get attack +3. This would be phenomenal on my consoles. Now, part of the reason it would be so good is they already are going to have really high attack, so I can make them little repel monsters if I get this. And then I have high fire on my god, so the fire income would be most welcome. And if I'm going to have a lot of fire income, you know, it'd be pretty nice, actually, to get these guys as well. So, anyway, I am a fan. I'll just say that, okay? I'm a fan. This would be one of the best ones for me to get. Throne of Gaia, 2 nature gems, the growth I don't care about. Throne of Air. Blessed troops get Air Shield. In late age, it's a nation of crossbows, so this actually would be pretty nice. I think this is Air Shield 40, so it's not like a full-on Air Shield, but pretty noticeable. Pretty noticeable. So if you're fighting mass crossbow and you've got regen and you're blessed, which I do, this air shield could definitely be the difference between surviving and not surviving. And then the air income would be most welcome, of course, as well. And then getting air 2 mages, these are just great mages also. So I'd be totally stoked to get this one. Throne of Churning Ocean, this one almost always spawns in the water. And it gives us a conjuration bonus. This is probably the best of the thrones for me, because the conjuration bonus is just nuts. I think I can cast, let's actually check. Cannot be cast, fuck. Okay, so it's actually not as good, because I can't cast it underwater. You still sometimes as Lemuria want to get Wraith Lords, who I think can be cast underwater. Yeah. So the thing is, Grand Lemurs can be magic dueled, so if you have some death magic you want to make sure gets off, these guys are going to be pretty cheap with that conjuration bonus. But now that I think about it, it's not really worth like fighting a war over to get. Because this is going to give me basically... it's going to be a 20% discount, so like 8 gems off. So it's going to be 32 gems. I mean, which is a pretty big discount. But I don't know. It'll also help me put up Well of Misery later. Look, who's to say, guys? I'm not sure how much I want that throne, but I kind of want it. Now, the thing is, to get it, I basically have to go to war with Agartha, because it's going to be an Agarthan throne. Or potentially somebody over here. And Agartha is a very tempting early war target for me, but... they are also being very friendly to me, and I am not going to poo-poo on that. So like, one way to look at the diplomacy for this, and we'll go back to the thrones in a second, is like, oh, which is my best national matchup? And, like, sure, rushing Agartha, probably not horrible as Lemuria, because they aren't going to have a ton of things very, very early to deal with me. Later, they're going to have a lot. But I need to time this. What I'm most worried about is having people join in on the coalition. So, we're going to give him this, try to keep him happy. I might actually give him this too once I go to war with Bogarus and Flagra, just to keep it safe, but we'll see. Probably not. It depends. If I start losing it, I'll go ahead and tell him I'll raid it, and then he can take it from me, and then if he bumps Flagra, then whatever. But, yeah, if the war starts going south, I'll probably give him both of these, and that will hopefully secure him a little bit more as an ally. We'll see. Anyway, back to thrones. The silver throne. 100 gold per turn. This one I would like a lot. 100 gold per turn is so nice because it's guaranteed. Even once a population is dead, I'm going to have it. What this type of guaranteed gold does is it means I have to worry a little bit less about like the upkeep cost of my mages and things like that. So, and then to add up to the silver order. I mean, guys, what can we say? Astral, air, with these randoms, so good. So freaking good. And then finally, or not finally, almost finally, we have the Golden Throne, which I would say is a little bit better. I don't think these mages are better. They're going to be nice because they can do Solar Eclipse nice and early for me if I get them. But super useful crosspass. I definitely can use the Fire Mages. All these adepts are going to be adept researchers, which are good. But the 200 gold is really just the sweetest part of this. I normally wouldn't care that much about the gold, but man, Lemuria cares about the gold way more than other nations. So we'd be very happy to have that and this. Like if we had both these as our thrones, oh, we'd be so happy. And then finally the Throne of Knowledge. Not great, except the Sage is just a phenomenal researcher. So we'd also be very happy if we found this. And then this guy would be nice for cross paths, but otherwise he's kind of meh. But I mean, this would be something. I would be totally happy getting this as a throne. Okay, so that is basically that. Now, the other thing that we missed in turn 11 from way back yonder is that I pinged this throne too. Here's the Throne of Bureaucracy. Here's another throne we pinged. This is basically identical to this other throne we just took. This one is... I think this one had heavy cav, this one doesn't. So it's a little easier, but it's got the same core of sorcerers and necromancer dudes at the back. So we're basically going to have the same strategy. And I don't have the turn loaded in here. But there's also some kind of weird diplomatic things happening, which is... this guy has been sweet-talking me the whole game and saying, like, hey, we can be long-term allies and stuff like this. I've asked him for a nap and he hasn't formally committed. And so I sent him a message this turn saying, hey, you've kind of been evasive every time I've asked about a nap, because I'd normally ask for a nap and then we'd have some other kind of conversation in the meanwhile, but he'd never like get back to the nap question. And so anyway, after this turn he's going to finally accept. But this turn he doesn't. And so what I'm thinking is he's got a big army here. I've got this province, which is a huge portion of my income. And I don't want him getting anywhere close to it. So what I think I do is I basically have everybody bring all your dudes, and I send everybody down here. And then here I think we start constructing in Palisade this turn. I was planning on I could have enough people that actually could have consolidated down here and we could have taken this throne this turn. That was what my plan was. But what I think I do anyway, and I think I'm an idiot and I make this guy patrol, which I shouldn't have because I end up getting this secretary and moving him out next turn. But I'm worried he might attack. And if he does, and these guys are pretty decent, especially these competences, but however you say it, but what instead we're going to do is just haul ass out of here, and we're going to have everybody basically form up to meet him if he comes to take this province. Here we've got this fort going up. I think I templed this. Here we've got this fort going up. I'm probably going to move somebody in here to go ahead and build a temple. Oh no, we're going to build a temple here. Here we're going to site search. We might hang on a second before we temple that. I had thought about building a fort out here, but I don't think I'm going to. I think this is going to become a war zone sooner than I thought. And I thought about this turn taking this guy and going and attacking Flagra, because I can see he's making priests, which just confirms my suspicion that he's about to attack me. So the fact that I've had people tell me that he's going to attack me, and he's either the leader or a major player in the coalition, and that he's just spamming out flagrant priests, I know how this story goes. So always better to get a jump, because like I could go ahead and knock the PD off, and then it's going to be like 2 flagrant priests that don't produce if I go ahead and sit on top of it. What I'm also going to do is I'm suspicious he's forting up here, so I'm going to go ahead and send a scout over this and see if he's building a fort. There is value to having peace with Flagra, and I would like to keep it. So what I do is I scoot back here, because I don't want to force a fight unless I'm going to get some major advantage. And just having one guy attack here is not really a major advantage. But if there's a fort here, I'll probably attack that next turn. Here, I think we don't have money, but I would like to start upgrading the forts here as well. Here we're going to site search probably. And that's basically it. We're basically just going to consolidate forces here. The actual scripting I did for this turn was more detailed. The other thing I haven't mentioned is... I turn this on 1 per turn. I've been recruiting crossbowmen here. Crossbowmen are quite good for Lemuria. So if you get a crossbow fort province before all the population dies, you want to get as many crossbowmen as you can. And that is precisely what we are going to do. Now, why these guys are good is your guys are ethereal and have shields. So they're going to be mostly immune to crossbow fire. Now, later in the game, once flaming arrows and stuff come out, you know, we obviously don't want to put that on our crossbows terribly much because it can cause friendly fire. But we can use our crossbows to shoot other people's crossbows. And for a nation that doesn't have a lot of strategic versatility, being able to throw crossbows in the mix, pretty good. Pretty good. Sorry, I'm like realizing now as I'm recording, I'm like still feeling very sick. Okay, so... yeah, we're not upgrading this. These will probably be the last 2 we upgrade. Though I might start this one, I'm not sure. But anyway, that's basically it. Let's go ahead and go to my current turn. Or not current, I might actually be on turn 15 now, because I think I'm 1 more turn into it. The other thing I'll just point out is that the Great White Bull was in that throne province. So we have some events that happen here. We've got a story event. There have been some signs of activity in the ancient ruin. It should perhaps be investigated by a mage, otherwise a thrifty adventurer could be sent to explore it. So we send a mage here, they get assassinated, but we get some gold and an item, which I think is an okay trade. And I think my mages will do pretty well in assassination, so I'm probably going to do that. I think at the beginning, like this turn, I thought I could send a scout, but I think next turn I figured I have to send a mage. If we had an adventure, you can only get these from what do you call it? From an event, which we obviously don't have, but we could send those in too, and you get slightly better loot. Okay, this is what we're talking about. We got a lab, and we got a silver hauberk, and this is in one of our already forted up provinces, which is much better than if it was in a random province. So that means we can start getting mage free spawn here. Now, getting labs and forts I think is definitely worth it. It's about 2 death gems per month converted into mages. Or like a little bit less than that probably, once you get your dominion high enough. So I think it's very much worth it. But I think it's, especially if it's a longer payoff, right? So especially when you're worried about a rush, it's kind of low on the priority totem. The other thing we got was a silver hauberk. And we'll pull that up in a second, but I got another item, a banner of the Northern Star. So also super good. So damn yeah. So we got, if you look at the items we've gotten the dancing shield, which is sick. We have gotten the silver hauberk, which gives us air shield, which versus crossbowmen is going to be so freaking good. So good. And then this, which is not going to be terribly useful soon, but it'll be useful later. I'm not even sure how... I mean, gotta be careful. I don't really want to get soul slayed with who I put it on. I could put it on somebody. I don't have to worry as much about them getting soul slayed. But anyway, it's going to be a while before we're really doing a lot of astral magic. But, I mean, this is obviously... this gives +1 astral to everybody on the field. And I don't know. It's useful, but not super soon. But these two, very good. And this is good too. It's just I don't really have a use for it in mind already. Okay, so what else can we see from this turn? Well, we didn't quite finish the events. We got an unrest event and then some more gems. And then the Throne of Gaia has been claimed, which sucks. And I apparently patrolled here like a fucking idiot. So, yeah, we found all the heretics. Okay, so that's that. And this was, so I think it was Calum who claimed the Throne of Gaia, which means the Throne of Gaia is probably this one, if I had to guess. It could be this one. Calum is going to be here. So yeah, it's really equally likely there was one of these. I don't really know which one. But yeah, so you can see we've got a spicy turn loaded up here, though. One thing I want to do, too, is I want to go through all of the national heroes. I'm going to start naming these guys after Patreon folks and then people who comment in videos. But I'm not going to do it to the Centurions. I mean, right now they're all heroes, so they seem really cool. But, I mean, they're all going to eventually die. Let's be honest. But the unequal obesity ones are good. I'm going to, if I can and they survive, I'll try to put a shroud on them. This guy's got lightning reflexes. Not bad either. This guy's got Iron Will, which is pretty useful. This guy's got Valor, which, you know, good for leading troops for like a major battle. Because he's going to give +2 leadership to everybody, and he's got very high base leadership. So, I'm not actually sure. Well, it'll take me a minute to find him. Is it one of these guys? Yeah, it's this guy. So we can actually see. Yeah, +3 morale. Whew, it's pretty good. So definitely worth considering taking on him, but I mean, you don't usually have too much of an issue with morale on ghosts. This guy, another unequaled obesity, also very nice. For those of you who don't know, unequaled obesity is you get a bonus to strength and a bonus to hit points. So pretty good. Especially with my bless, the hit point bonus is going to be really nice. Next up, we have this guy, Gravetongue, who has heroic battle prowess. Good for... So an attack bonus is basically going to be pretty nice for repelling. So that will be good. And then down here, Revdinovid... I don't even know how to say that. I'm not going to try. He's got tough skin, which is pretty good too. What's nice is your consuls, they have 8 base natural protection. So the heroic ability is going to add on top of that natural protection, which is really nice. It means we can get up pretty high pretty quick. So this guy's definitely one to keep an eye on. He also would be a decent candidate for a shroud. Most of these really are decent shroud candidates. So if they stick around long enough, we'll give them a shroud. Problem with the shroud is I think it's construction 4. So it's going to be a little while before we get there, because the name of the game is Can I Survive until... We're getting construction 2, but the name of the game is now Can I Survive until I get to Rigor Mortis. Once I have Rigor Mortis, it's going to give me... It doesn't mean I win or anything. It's not like, oh, you've won the game now. But it now means people can properly fuck off when they attack me. I'm going to have major things I can do to mess with them. The other thing when I run this way is I'm going to get Foul Vapors, which my god can do. And I'm going to get Twiceborn as I run up this way, so I can do that on my god. So, basically, this will help, like, my god can potentially thug a little bit as a Wraith Mage. I'm not actually sure if there's anything else I mean, flaming arrows wouldn't be horrible if I've got a big crossbow core, but it kind of is probably going to hurt more than it helps most of the time. Anti-magic is kind of nice. I mean, it's nice. It will do it for big battles. That way I don't have to waste turns doing protection of the Shadelands or whatever. You know, Behemoth isn't horrible to have in the mix. Because we're not a very killy army, so that's definitely something to consider. I mean, that could definitely be the kind of thing that turns a fight. Problem is, like, death spammers, people spamming dust to dust, they will be able to kill this guy, but maybe not super quickly. If I get body ethereal or something on him, it would be way better too, but that's a little unlikely. 5, what do we get? Quagmire, pretty good, going to be hard for me to cast. And then, you know, Ritual of Returning, going to be useful later. But yeah, really it's just Foul Vapors. And then, you know, when we get down here, we can potentially do Heat from Hell. Though we probably won't be doing that. Grip of Winter, going to be hard for us to cast for a long time. I mean, with Power of the Spheres, we get up to 2, but we really have to get up to 3. So, like, we'll have to do Water Empowerment and stuff, or find a Water Mage before we can really make use of this. Because our God is not going to be able to do it right away. You know, that said, and we have to be really careful using our God in combat, because he is, while he can kind of surprise people and show up for it, Magic Duel will wreck him. He's Astral 1. So, yeah. We did it for the cross paths, guys. He'll show up in combat, but not regularly. The problem is, if he gets Magic Duel, it'll take out Foul Vapor, so it actually is kind of a problem. But what are we going to do? Coming down here. Reanimate Archers, not horrible. My God can definitely do this. Gives us Banefire Archers. Not bad. Oh, kind of meh. You know, the real thing here is Rigor Mortis, and, yeah. Sorry, my phone keeps interrupting me. I just paused it to take care of that. But, yeah, so anyway, you know, if we got Grip of Winter up, it would be awesome, but aside from that, it's really just Rigor Mortis, Foul Vapors, and Anti-Magic. And then, kind of, as a much lesser value, Behemoth. Twiceborn is actually pretty nice on my God, especially since he's Astral 1. But it's kind of a rule, guys. Don't do Astral 1 on your Pretender God. Unless you're a huge badass like me. I'm just kidding. Unless you're really fucking dumb and you don't mind losing him to Magic Duel. If I make it through this whole game and nobody Magic Duels him once, I'll be a happy man. I'll be a very happy man. So anyway, like I was saying, it's kind of going to be a race for survival. Can I get to Rigor Mortis before that crazy shit starts happening? Once I get to Rigor Mortis, there's a few different ways I can go for research. One way is I head for Darkness. Along the way, it's going to give me Drain Life, which is going to give me a decent way to deal with thugs and super combatants. Because, like, all my Grand Lemurs with Power of the Spheres can cast Drain Life. And then 3 Grand, like, one of the things I'm worried about potentially is Flagrant Tyrants coming out here. Like, because I've killed a Lemuria before with Late Age Flagra. I subbed into a game. Lemuria was the biggest player in the game, and I just ate their entire empire with like 6 Flagrant Tyrants. It was kind of funny. Now, there's other ways to deal with Flagrant Tyrants than just Drain Life, but having 6 Grand Lemurs with some ghosts in front of them, spamming Drain Life is probably one of the better ways to do it. So anyway, that's an option, and then we get Darkness along the way, and Skeletal Legion, of course, is pretty nice. We don't really care about the disease-friendly, since our guys are undead. And then the Pierce Resistant is pretty nice, especially if people are trying to, like, crossbow us to death or something like that, which is definitely an option. So, you know, these are all pretty damn good things. Arouse Hunger is no joke either. It's pretty useful if I'm going to just put a deep rating pressure on, but it's also kind of a waste of precious death gems. Hand of Death is also kind of nice to have in the bag. But yeah, and then for fire, we get Solar Eclipse, which potentially can be good. Yeah, there's some good stuff. The The other option, of course, is we run for Evocation. And Evocation, we get some interesting things. We get Stygian Rains, which all of our water randoms can cast, because only requiring water 2 means if we do Power the Spheres first, we can pop it. The thing is, this will make us much, much, much better in Vulnerability 15 against things that do not have magic weapons. Well, I mean, we're going to be, like, so good against stuff without magic weapons. The problem is, everybody's picked counters to me, and I expect the amount of non-magic weapon stuff... What am I saying? The amount of stuff that is not magic weapons that's going to come at me is going to be reasonably small, I think. But there's really no reason not to put it up if I have it, and, you know. And if I'm fighting the right nation, it can still be really, really good. So anyway, there's that. What else? We've got Wind of Death. This is probably one of the ultimate fuck-off spells. So, I put a ton of guys in the fort. Very difficult for them to siege through it. They have to bring a large army to siege through it. I hit that large army with like 3 Winds of Death, 4 Winds of Death, 5 Winds of Death, and they can go get properly fucked. Wailing Winds also is huge. Wailing Winds is another one of the kind of game-winning spells for me. Shadow Blast along the way is pretty good. Not great. I've been less impressed with Shadow Blast, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. With Lucid's Thematic Gem Gen on, we get temporary death gems, which we can use to do 2 Shadow Blasts a turn. 2 Shadow Blasts in combat, which, you know, that's okay. I can kind of dig on that. It gets better with that, but honestly, paying a death gem to do this, it can be good, but the MR negates part is kind of rough. I don't know. I've seen it in other people's YouTube kind of videos and stuff be pretty damn effective. I've used it, and the last time I played Lemuria, I didn't go enchantment first, I went evocation first. And I tried to use it in a fair amount of numbers. And the thing is, the elite troops, which are normally going to murder your undead, are normally going to have pretty high MR. Like, I'm thinking of, like, fighting Midgard, and they had all these vans running around. And, you know, they had pretty good MR. I don't know if they had an MR Bless or what. I think they had anti-magic up. Basically, it didn't work very well. It did mostly a whole lot of nothing. And then it's really easy to bait this out and, like, put some evocation bait in front that everybody's going to target with the Shadow Blast. But, you know, there's a few things you can do, like putting it later in the script, which will kind of deal with it, but I don't know. It can be very good, but it also can kind of suck. Anyway, it's definitely a reason to go evocation. It's a little iffy, is what I'm trying to say. So that is the main reason to go evocation. Fire, of course, we're going to get some interesting things my god can do, like falling fires, fire cloud, all okay. He can also do sulfur haze, which is not bad. So, you know, these are okay if I need to bring my god in a fight, but if I'm bringing my god in a fight to do this kind of stuff, like, it's probably not going to win it. It's just something he can do when he's off script. Like, Foul Vapors will potentially win a fight for me. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of the end of the discussion on research. We're going to be attacking Flagra this turn, and let's go ahead and talk through it. We've got these idiots here. They are going to be YOLOing super hard into this province, and you might be like, Lucid, why would you send 2 of your dudes who have heroic abilities and you don't want them to die into the enemy province? Well, right now they're sitting in their government office, they're collecting a paycheck, and they're not doing anything. And that is not how Lemuria operates. Lemuria is a meritocracy without any safe working conditions, and they need to get their ass out there and fucking earn their paycheck. So I don't care how many college degrees, aka heroic abilities these guys have, or medals, they're going to get out and make me some goddamn money. So we're going to send them over here, and actually they'll probably do pretty well. It's actually really hard to kill Centurions, especially ones with heroic abilities. We'll put a few of these guys just to, like, blunt a lance charge or two, but I expect these guys will be fine. Now, what we see here, and this is what compelled me to make the attack, is Constantine. He has located a fort under construction. And there's also a temple here, an unforted temple. Or not forted yet temple. And he has a throne, which he has claimed and is collecting gem income off of. And I have asked this guy for a nap, and he declined. And he's building a bunch of priests to fuck with me. And there's a coalition inbound, and I've been told by Agartha now that the time until they attack me is like 2 to 3 turns. So they're about to attack me. But they've probably timed it so like this fort can go up and blah, blah, blah. Well, I've got news for you, buddy. We're not going to stand here, bent over, ready and willing. All right? We're going to not go silently into the night. You're going to have to bring it, and we're going to bring it first. So we're attacking here with a rather large army. We're attacking here with a reasonably sizable... This is going to be the hardest province to take. If I could take more guys here, I would, but this is a cave and this is a wasteland, so nobody from this province can actually make it through here. So we're going to send them here, and we're going to send these guys here. And this is actually very risky, because I only have one centurion, which sucks. I've got not a ton of ghosts. And yeah. I quivered a little bit over kind of what to do. But basically what I decided is this guy is going to attack closest. These guys with... I've got 3 guys with Furors in here also going to run in and attack closest. These guys are going to fire. And hopefully this will reduce some of the clumping. So if he has priest tier banishing or something, will be a little bit more okay. But his god has moved. His god is here. And what I expect has happened is his god site searched here. And either his god or his prophet claimed this. And then his god has moved here now to site search this province. But he only moved here this turn. So this turn, he will be doing the site searching. Which means his god is probably not going to be moving around this coming turn. So, yeah, we're going to send this guy here. Yeah. Hopefully things go well. Now, the other thing we're going to have to do eventually is I need to get a scout on top of his cap. I need to see... I need to actually check when the soonest Flagra's cap volcano can pop. I think it used to be 16, but I think it's delayed 6 more turns or something. I feel like there's a good chance it's not going to come out to like turn 30. I think that's kind of normal now. So we have some window before the tyrants come out, which I want to capitalize on it. And if I just let this thing go, I mean, think about the damage I'm going to be doing by taking this out. It's going to be 600 gold damage for the fort. It's going to be the temple destroyed. It's going to be potentially killing this army of crossbowmen. So that's like 1,000 gold worth of damage right there. 600 plus 400 for the temple. So that's huge and worthy of doing it just for that. But the other thing is it's going to prevent all the future turns of priest recruitment, which, fuck those priests. I don't want them to recruit more priests. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. Now we send him a message, and our message says, so while I'd prefer peace with you, you refused my nap, and I've heard rumblings of a coalition forming against me. So I guess I'll kick this off before 2 or 3 of you attack me at once. And then I send like a second note to him saying, if I'm mistaken, however, and you want peace, I'd be happy to go back to borders if we sign a nap. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going to be fucking him by killing this fort. I'm going to be taking these 2. Hopefully. I mean, any of these raids could fail. But I'm going to also say, hey, if you want to go back to peace, then you can, but it's going to cost you a nap. Which, we'll see. I mean, honestly, he should not be... He's protecting this. He's clearly keeping an army here because he's forting it. But he's not keeping a big enough army for the fact that he refused my nap offer. So anyway, we'll be heading over there. Now, as we mentioned, unfortunately we caught the heretics because I was an idiot and patrolled. But Pythium did not attack, and then this turn he sends me a message basically saying, yeah, of course I didn't attack you. I mean, not, of course, I didn't tell him I was thinking about attacking. I mean, I'm sure he thought I might. He probably saw here that, like, maybe I thought he would attack me. But anyway, we have officially signed a nap now. And there was a little confusion and mix-up. Because he's like, okay, we can nap. And then I sent him a message afterwards saying, So is nap 3 okay? And he's like, how many times do I have to tell you we have a nap? I was like, oh, whoops. So we're going to be doing, this is basically the same formation we had going into that other throne. So if you, because we missed turn 11, you might not have seen it, but it's basically like this. All right, we've got hold, 1 turn and an attack. For whatever reason, if you have these guys on hold and attack or hold and fire or whatever, you want these guys to only hold once, not hold twice. Even though this hold is technically 2 turns, somehow that just, it gets everybody to jive better. So that's what we're doing. We're going to run in here and hope for the same outcome we had on this throne over here, and hope for a better throne than the throne of fucking bureaucracy. Meanwhile, and most importantly, off my porch has arrived. Here we go. The entire nation rejoices. Off my porch, God of Lemuria, gatherer of dead, prince of pestilence, herder of men has awakened. Yes, sir. Off my porch. So, yeah. He's the first order of business. His first royal decree is going to be summoning a Grand Lemur. Now, you may ask yourself, what is he going to do with that Grand Lemur? And I will tell you. That Grand Lemur is going to be making consuls until he goes blue in the face. Off my porch is then going to switch to research. And I need to get construction too, because I want to have dusk daggers out. Basically ASAP, right? And, yeah, the sooner that happens, the better. So, we're going for construction 2. After we get construction 2 research, which isn't very, you know, this guy's doing 50 a turn. And then, yeah. So anyway, after we have construction research, we'll have him run around and site search. But I need to get that construction 2. And if things get really dire and I think I'm losing, I might give up site searching, which is a long-term payoff, and go start researching. Which arguably, since I know there's a coalition coming, I might should do already. But I'm not sure. I can't use this guy in combat either until I have Twiceborn done. Yeah, hard decisions. And a behemoth really could make a world of difference here. How far do I have to go to get to behemoth? Because I'm just thinking, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of problems a behemoth's going to fix for me early game. 4. It's a long way to get 4 though. This is 50, this is 100, this is 200. I think this is 400. Is that right? And so then to get from here all the way down here, I need 100, 300, 700. 700 more research. That's a lot of off my porch's turns, but it's going to be a long time coming if I don't do that. It also gives me anti-magic. Astral Shield, which is not bad either. So I don't know, guys. Anyway, I don't have to worry about that for now. For now, we're just going to do consoles. I think I have him do more apparitions. Apparitions, by the way, guys, are going to take away your population, so it's going to slowly destroy population. Once you've destroyed all the population, you can't get any more apparitions, so you have to kind of pay attention to that. So that's basically it. We're going to be hauling ass over here. We're going to be running in here. And thank you for watching, and that is the end of the episode. Take care, guys.